what's up, everybody? We are live as live can be. Thank God Eric made it in. He went to the wrong studio at first.
Instantly called.
But we're all here. Of course, this is when canteens combine. When tunes combine, this is the Cartoon Classic, the Traffic Light League. I am Dutchie, joined by Money E, and joining us for the second week in a row, we've adopted him into the family. Shawn is back with us.
Hello.
Yeah.
I already decided for next week.
You've already decided for next week?
Yep.
Right. We're going to table that till the end of the show. I'm kind of interested. I am interested though to see which one you picked, just to see if you actually picked the right league or not, because you might have already picked. Knowing you probably picked a league that we've already done.
No. Because I already know what I did. I did video game and the Blue League.
Yeah. Mark McGee has already said that X-Men should win this thing. So
no surprise.
Yeah. We'll table that a little bit, Mark. We still have to, give out the points and stuff. I know that's what you're rooting for. That's actually what my brother's rooting for. But all right, so we are back with the Cartoon Classic. This is the Traffic Light League. For anybody that doesn't understand the meaning behind that, you either don't drive or are colorblind or just a complete idiot. It is cartoons that have red, yellow, or green in them. Could be the characters, could be what they wear, could be like buildings or stuff like that, or whatever it may be. But your combatants tonight are the Flintstones, SpongeBob SquarePants, Eric's personal favorite, The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and the and X-Men the Animated Series. So that's who's competing tonight. Before we get into that, quick recap right now. And even though you're in the chat room, even though you're on the show with us, I'm still showing your comment.
Multitask.
Yeah.
Multitask.
About time we have one of those on the show. So, all right. But before we get there, so basically the quick recap is Jesus Christ. I'm not showing that, Eric. Already we've had the Ninja Turtles survive to win the Blue League. Eric picked them to be in the Blue League, but they survived the Blue League. Biker Mice from Mars survived the Other Planets League, and last week Pokemon survived the Video Game League. So
Rightfully
they all move on, huh?
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
Yep.
They all move on, and right now Ninja Turtles with 148.5 points, and Pokemon with 138 have the 2 first-round buys that are going to be in the 14 cartoon single elimination. 4 wild cards are up for grabs here, or also be decided in this whole thing. And right now, those wild card spots belong to Simpsons with 148 points, Super Mario Brothers Super Show with 133, Street Fighter with 112.5, and Donkey Kong Country with 110. Let's just make sure I did not get that mixed up. And I did not.
You can say good night to the Chargers.
The game's still going.
Huh?
The game's still going.
I just looked at it. It was 13-6.
Got to pick 6.
Oh my God.
Oh well. Kansas City's moving on. Kansas City's going to move on to the AFC Championship then, because there's no way Houston's going to beat them.
But who manifested the Diggs wins the Super Bowl?
Yeah, without even playing.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So we know. So we know those cartoons that are still technically in the running. It could change tonight. Anybody that joins us in the chat room, I will also be throwing it. If you give scores tonight, I will count them in the total. So anybody
I'm
that
in
does,
the chat.
huh?
Do I get double if I
No, you
put
don't get
another
double.
score in the chat though?
All right, but basically, here's the here's the rules. So there's 4 shows, 5 categories. You can score them on a scale of 0. It usually was 1 to 10, but I modified it because I can do that because I created this thing. From 0 to 10.
We're gonna have some zeros tonight.
X-Men 1000.
Yeah. So on a scale from 0 to 10, you can score it. So your 5 categories are theme song, animation quality, characters, episodes, and humor and entertainment value. And like I said, it's Flintstones, SpongeBob, Winnie or X-Men, and Winnie the Pooh. We might as well just go ahead and get started because I've already blabbed on for 6 minutes and 45 seconds. 46, 47.
2-hour live stream. Who cares? Let's go.
Yeah. Pittsburgh and Baltimore really isn't that important to me.
No.
But all right, so we're going to start off. Our first category is theme song. We're going to start with the Flintstones. And Shawn, we are going to start with you just because, technically you are part of the show now, but I just feel like
that's fine. No, I appreciate going first because that means I can just give it a 9 because it's all it's iconic.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's not a boring theme song. There's a lot going on in it, and it's very catchy.
Yeah,
and to this day, everybody remembers it.
Yeah. Now, by the way, like the Flintstones had 2 theme songs because they had the theme song for I think the first and maybe the second season. It was just like a generic theme song, but then they did the Flintstone.
Meet the
Flintstones. That's why I couldn't hear it because I was watching season 1 and I couldn't even play anything.
Yeah. So,
and even the movies were decent.
Yeah, I love that
new theme song. So
yeah, I love that first movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, John Goodman, who played Fred Flintstone in that movie, he doesn't like it, but
that's the one I like the most. The other one was good, but it was not the same.
Yeah.
After seeing the first one,
it's better than be a copyright strike.
That won't be a copyright.
Yeah. But as long as we're not playing it on here. But all right, so Shawn gives it a 9. Eric, what do you give it?
I give it a 10. Iconic. I have it in my head right now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 10 as well, just because I love this theme song and I love this cartoon. So but I'm gonna try not to be biased as much, if at all.
Well, you can leave it to me.
Oh, I know you're gonna be biased. But all right, Mark, you're in the chat room. If you feel like giving a score 0 to 10, Flintstones theme song, what do you give it? It will count towards the total. But all right, so while we wait for that, if he listens to me, we'll go to SpongeBob SquarePants. Shawn, we're starting with you again.
8.5.
Oh wow.
I listened to it the other day, and then I heard it for a second time, and I kind of was like, okay, I'm already annoyed. No, it is a good theme. It is a great theme song, obviously, but it's just one of those that you just don't want to hear the second or third time watching the show. You're at that point, you're just skipping it.
Yeah.
But I remember as a kid, I was like, hell yeah, this slaps. So yeah. I'm going to take it at 8.5.
All right. Eric?
I'm giving it a 0. It makes my ears bleed.
Oh my God. Is this the unbiased opinion we were talking about?
Yes, this is the
R.I.P.
for anybody that's a
SpongeBob.
fan of SpongeBob. If you are in this chat right now, if you somehow happen to be watching, if you are a fan of SpongeBob, you are not going to like what he has to say. And for a small fee, I will give you his address so you can go to his house with pitchforks and torches.
Doug, I hate this show more than Elf, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, and Elf held a wild card spot for 2 weeks, so it really.
Yeah.
So
I was nice about Elf. I'm not going to be nice about this.
yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and give it. I'm going to be a little kinder. I do agree that like the more you hear it, the more it gets on your nerves. But I'm going to give it an 8. Just because of how I kind of get it. And it is catchy. It's just like, the pirate in the beginning, and then it is a catchy theme song.
Hold on. Eric, what's your favorite show? Like favorite cartoon right now?
Probably Pokemon or Ninja Turtles. Or
I give it a
Flintstones.
0. It's a 0. They're zeros.
They already moved on, Shawn. You're too late for that.
Yeah. Everything's a 0.
Yeah. All right. So
we're doing one
Mark,
tonight.
huh?
We're doing one of the cartoons I like tonight.
Yeah. So all right. Mark in the chat, if you want to go ahead and give theme song scores to both Flintstones and SpongeBob, go ahead. Like I said, they will count. He may have already tuned me out, which is fine. All right. Next one, theme song, X-Men the Animated Series. Mark just gave me all his. All right, so let's see. So Flintstones he gives Flintstones an 8. He's given SpongeBob a 3. He's given X-Men a 10, and he's going to give Winnie the Pooh a 5.
Oh wow.
Okay.
All right. All right, Shawn, we'll go to you now as far as X-Men goes in the theme song.
I gave it a 9.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It is.
Like it's
for a theme
action-packed
song
too.
that doesn't have words, by the way.
Right. They replaced words for entertainment.
Yeah.
And like suspense. So that was really good. Like real good.
All right. Eric, what do you say?
I give it an 8. After listening to it again, I bumped it up to an 8.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it again, doesn't have any words, but this is one of those theme songs that doesn't need words.
No.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. All right. So now we'll go ahead with the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Shawn.
I gave it an 8. I didn't personally like it, but it was good for what it was for the time.
Yeah.
And I also thought about, would I like it as a small child? Like, yeah, I'd probably find it really good. So I gave it an 8. It wasn't awful.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
but just not something I would prefer watching today.
Okay. All right. Eric, Winnie the Pooh's theme song. What do you give it?
7.
Okay.
I liked it.
I did too. I'm giving it a 9.
Wow.
Nice. I mean, this is actually
8, 9.
like, huh?
7, 8, 9.
Yeah. And Mark gave it a 5. We just needed somebody to give it a 6. Then that would technically be a straight in poker.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like Winnie the Pooh was one of my favorite shows when I was really little. So, I mean, growing up, I don't even like now. I probably wouldn't even put it in like my top. Like I'd probably put it in like my top 15 or top 20. But I really do like the theme song.
It's catchy.
Yeah. So, Let's see. All right, animation quality is the next category. And we are going to start on Flintstones. And Shawn, we're starting with you again.
9. I thought it was really good. That's all I can really say.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing was like blurry, and it was detailed.
Yeah.
It was very well done for what, the 80s and 90s.
Well, Flintstones was the 60s.
Oh, okay. Well, even better. That's why I'm keeping it at a 9.
Yeah. All right. Eric?
I give it a 10 for, especially because it's in the 60s. I think it might have been ahead of its time.
Well, ahead of its time, a Stone Age cartoon ahead of its time. When the Stone Age was like, millions of years ago. But I know I get what you're saying. I'm giving it a 9 as well. Mark in the chat, if you want to go ahead and give scores for animation quality, you can do all 4 at once like you did with the theme song, or you can do them one at a time. Like I said, they're going to count, mainly because I am writing them down. But we'll move on to animation quality for SpongeBob, Shawn.
I also gave that a 9. I like it. It's really good. It's, I think, probably the first time more like, how do I say it? Not like CGI, but just better. It was just better. I don't know how to really put it. It was good.
Yeah.
So I mean, what was it? Early 2000 or like late 90s?
99 is when it first came out.
99.
99.
Okay, yeah. So like, I can't say for the time it was good because it was, if not a little better. Like you could see the improvements slowly over time.
Okay. All right. So Mark has just given his animation quality scores. Looks like Flintstones is going 8.5. SpongeBob is going 7. X-Men 8.5 as well. Winnie the Pooh is going 6. All right, Eric. Animation quality, huh?
This is the category I was the nicest of.
Okay. Animation
5.
quality for SpongeBob.
I give it a 5.
Okay.
I thought it was the best quality of the show.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be a little nicer here, and because I really do like the animation quality of the show, I felt like it was done really well. So yeah. I'm gonna give it, and this is me being kind. I'm giving it a 10. Eric, did you just fall back in your chair so you can slit your wrist, or because I gave it a 10?
Dang. Family, PG.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. Mark, I'm tired of your little boys. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10 just because I feel like it was not necessarily because I am going to give another one a 10. Mm-hmm. But it really was up there for me. So we'll go on to the next one. Shawn, X-Men.
10. Again, it was just like really good. There's a lot going on in a lot of the scenes.
Yeah.
Like it was just crazy good.
Yeah.
Loved every minute of it.
Yeah. Very action packed. Eric, go ahead.
I give it an 8. I thought it was solid. Especially for its time in 92.
Yeah. This is the other one I'm giving a 10. Because like Shawn said, there's a lot going on here. And it's very, very well done. Like, I watched some of the episodes today, and like my opinion on a lot of stuff that I watched today really, really did change a little bit. So, All right, we'll go. Winnie the Pooh is next. Animation quality. Shawn, you're up.
I gave it a 6. It looked more like like in some episodes to me, at least, it looked like I was reading it off of a book. Like they were just flipping a book,
Right.
kind of. But that's just to me. It wasn't awful, but not the greatest I've ever seen.
Right.
But maybe that was intentional too. Maybe it was drawn a specific way. So
Yeah,
I
I
want
feel
to
like
shoot down on it.
I do feel like you do have a point that like maybe these are done via like it was made to look like it was almost like a storybook.
But if that's the case, like if there's evidence that that's true, like that's awesome.
Yeah. Eric?
I give it an 8. I liked it.
Yeah. All right. I'm giving the animation quality a 7. Again, like for this was 80s. By the way, I should mention this. I don't know why I haven't yet, but this Winnie the Pooh is the first, even though X-Men the animated series and for all intents and purposes also the Flintstones is on Disney Plus, but that's because of like the all the streaming services are kind of working together now because you can bundle because Verizon or other cable companies are making them all do bundle deals. But Winnie the Pooh is the first Disney cartoon to be in a battle here. I mean, there's going to be more coming. But Winnie the Pooh is the first Disney representative to be battling, and I believe SpongeBob is the first Nickelodeon one to be battling.
Yep.
So
interesting.
We get a Disney Nickelodeon battle here. All right. Next up is characters. He said X-Men animation was great until the last season where it took a dive.
I like the honesty.
Yeah. You're going to get nothing but honesty from him, even if it pisses you off. But that's one of his best qualities is his honesty.
Yeah. You too, Doug.
Yeah. It might be one of my worst. But all right, so characters is up next. We'll start with the Flintstones. Shawn, you're up.
7.5. Because other than like the main core of the show, there wasn't really anybody you were like drawn to.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like those, like, basically the Flintstones and the Rebels.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
And there was way too much other interaction with other characters not to like solidify who they were.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark, I've been wanting that for, 20 years now, and I haven't gotten it yet, so why should I expect it now? Uh-oh. I just made the screen bigger. Oh, well. Fix it later. But, all right, so, all right, yeah, so, all right, Shawn gives that a 7.5. Mark, if you want to go ahead and give your opinions on the characters, give your ratings. You can either do them one at a time or just do them how you have been doing them. Eric, you're up. Characters for the Flintstones.
I give it a 10. I think at least 2 of them are legendary characters. Maybe even all 4 of them. I mean, mainly Fred and Barney.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is that like they are like legendary. Yes, they are legendary characters. But also too because like there wasn't really much of a focus on like any other one. I mean, yeah, their wives, their kids, their pets. But Fred Flintstone to me is always going to be an iconic character, as is Barney Rubble. And I really do like the dog, Dino.
Yeah. Dino.
Yeah. So I'm going to give the characters a 9. All right. So Mark's got his scores in. He gives Flintstones a 5, or Flintstones a 5, SpongeBob a 5, X-Men a 9, and Winnie the Pooh a 5. Mark is really pushing the X-Men here.
It's like
You
I'm really
don't
pushing
say.
Flintstones.
Huh?
I'm doing that with the Flintstones.
Yeah. Let's see if it works. But yeah, so all right. So up next is the characters of SpongeBob. Shawn, go ahead.
5. There is some, like, other than like Plankton, all the other ones suck. Like SpongeBob was just annoying. It felt like I was watching a baby the whole time.
Yeah.
Squidward was what his nose was. I'm gonna say that because this is PG.
Yeah.
And like Patrick was just like, I don't know. They just weren't funny, and it didn't work for me. Other than Plankton,
Right.
he was so evil and failed all the time. I felt bad for the man.
Right.
So yeah, a 5.
Eric.
1. And I'm being nice.
I think. Well, some people might think you're being rude.
I didn't like any of the characters.
So,
Like, how the heck can a crab have a whale for a daughter? Like, how does that work in logic?
I don't know. Like I used to hate this show with a passion. Okay. And I'm not saying that I like it. I'm gonna try to be a little more, friendly towards it because it's gonna drive Eric nuts, especially if it moves on to the next round. But
Thanks, Doug.
no problem. So like, but I get everybody's point because I'm not really like the only character I like in this show, to be honest with you, is the Sandy, the squirrel.
The squirrel.
Yeah. The one that has to, wear the helmet so she can breathe underwater.
Right.
Who
Does that make
I
sense?
dislike it so
That
much.
makes sense too, right?
Huh?
I
You
said I
ever look
dislike
at
it
it?
so much that I'd rather watch Elf.
Yeah.
You know what is funny to me though is that Mr. Krabs has his restaurant in a crab pot.
Yeah.
Like there's no other crabs, so now you're just thinking like the secret ingredient is crab meat.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! Sorry,
Yeah.
not really. I hate
But like, so I'm going to give the characters. I'm going to give them a 5. So I'm going to agree with Shawn and Mark. But yeah. So all right. So we'll move on. Characters. X-Men. Shawn.
10. Living legends. They all had it's just a 10. I don't even have to explain it. 10.
Not really. All right, Eric. Are you looking at your cheat sheet or are you looking at your nudes?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I had originally had 8, but I'm changing it to 10.
Okay. I think that joke went over his head.
Yeah.
No,
He's
I
just
got
not denying it by changing the subject.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm proud
Okay.
that you closed your door. You don't have to close your door this stream.
no, I already
I know.
closed my door before I had the show.
When you were in the wrong chat,
Yeah.
you're in the wrong channel.
So, all right. So Mark brings up a great point. He goes, X-Men was serialized, so you got to see different aspects of the characters as the rest are episodic, so they are one-dimensional. Which that is a great point.
Yeah.
So, and I'm giving him a 9. Again, because they are all iconic characters, and they were all very well done. They all had like the different story arcs, which I'll get into in the episodes, because the episode arc that I watched today from X-Men the Animated Series really changed my mind on how I was gonna vote for the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to that in a second. All right, but we'll go Winnie the Pooh. Characters, Shawn, go ahead.
I gave it a 9. I mean, I probably watched it more as when I was like 5 and growing up that way, so I don't remember much. But at least when I watched it this past week, I only watched like 3 episodes, but I remembered, like, it brought me back to the being a kid, kind of watching it. And I mean, Winnie the Pooh is Winnie the Pooh, man.
Yeah.
Get that honey.
Exactly. So, all right, Eric.
I'm giving it a 7.
Okay. So here's the thing. I feel like whoever came out with these stupid horror movies needs to have a bear rip his throat out like he had Winnie the Pooh do to those poor girls in that first movie, and to anybody else in the second movie.
That's rough.
I don't like the fact that you take I understand public domain, and I understand people being more interested in horror movies nowadays, because horror's a genre where you get, and I shouldn't really be making fun of the horror genre, because one of the podcasts we do have on the network here is a horror movie podcast, but I hate the genre. Okay. I'm not a fan of horror movies. So the fact that you take beloved children's characters and turn them into horror movie characters, and I understand, and like the same director wants to do the same thing with other characters that are going to hit the public domain. Like, he's waiting for, and if this ever happens, I shouldn't say what I'm going to do.
You're going to lose your mind.
I'm going to lose my mind, and he's going to have my foot in one part of his body.
Wow.
And Mark just says, can't wait for the X-Men horror movie. See, but that's the thing, is that like X-Men would actually make sense as a horror movie.
It depends on what kind of horror too. Are you going like more gore, or are you going for more like mediocre gore, but still like, I don't know if you ever watched The Terrifier.
I didn't. Daniel and
I
Mindy
would
saw
not.
I saw the third one in the theaters.
I'm not about that type of gore. I can't sit there and watch that much of it to like the extent that they go. But I can watch like a Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Well, Friday the 13th is the one horror franchise I can watch.
Yeah. That or like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. I can watch those, but not any of this new stuff. It's way too gory for me.
Yeah. But so I'm going to give the Winnie the Pooh characters, I haven't given a score yet, but I'm going to give them an 8.
Okay.
So I'm giving
It's
them
a
an
good
8.
score.
Yeah. So we're going to episodes now. Flintstones up first. Shawn, you're up first.
Let me look at my list. We're at episodes.
Yeah.
I gave it a 8.5. They were good. A lot going on. I mean, and they were descriptive. You knew what was happening, and they kind of didn't make it random every so often. I liked them. Had a lot of, good moments, funny moments, family moments, I guess you should say.
Yeah. Eric?
10. I like the episodes. I wasn't bored of it.
So for me and Mark, you can go ahead and give your scores for the episodes for each one, like you have been doing. And he it's as soon as I say it, he puts it in. So he gives the Flintstone episodes.
By the way, reverting back to that horror movie, did you see that they're making one about the Grinch?
I did see
or
that.
They've made one about the Grinch.
Yeah.
So I can understand why you're like, screw these people.
Yeah.
That's Christmas too. That's like a whole different ball.
Leave the childhood characters alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fully agree.
Yeah. Mark, I know that's what you were doing. So anyway. All right. So he gave the Flintstone episodes an 8. SpongeBob 6, X-Men a 10, Winnie the Pooh a 7. So I'm giving the Flintstone episodes a 9. Because like it felt like, even though some of the episodes are great and they are really funny, it also too has to do with like they are like it almost feels like it's almost like the same episode a lot of times. Fred bullies Barney. It's like this podcast where I'm usually bullying Eric over something that he does dumb and I take it too far. And then but then it turns out to be like the most viewed part of the episode because everybody loves it when I just lose my cool over something stupid Eric does.
That's why I said you and me are Barney and Fred.
Yeah, exactly. But so it's like Fred bullies Barney, and then gets yelled at by Wilma or whatever, and it's like, and then gets tackled by Dino. I mean, like some of this, like the episodes are really funny. I'm not saying that, but it just seems like it's almost like
repetitive.
Yeah, it's repetitive to the point, and I don't mind it as much. I mean, I probably mind it a little bit. That's why I only gave it a 9. But like to me, it's still, they're still good episodes. Like episode I was watching today where Fred put together a barbershop quartet so he can win a vacation to an island. And Barney had to be the soloist in a barbershop quartet, but Barney could only sing in his bathtub. When he's out of the bathtub, his voice was horrible.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Or the episode where the Rubbles adopted Bam Bam, and they got taken to court because there was another family that wanted Bam Bam, and then afterwards, they, the other family the other couple that wanted Bam Bam were rich. So they ended up getting Bam Bam, and Barney wanted to jump off a bridge, it was an actual thing. And he tied like a rock to his foot. Right. And, or he had like, he tied like a rock or something to his foot. And then Fred was gonna, but then Fred found out from the lawyer of the rich couple. It's like, the guy already just, the other couple's having a baby right now, so the Rubbles can keep Bam Bam. So he went to go rescue Barney. Barney gave him the rock that was there, and Fred's the one that fell in the damn river.
It is crazy to watch those like episodes now that we're older and catch stuff like that.
Yeah. It's amazing what you could get away with back then. As opposed to now. I mean, Mark, that's pretty much what it was. He was hitting rock bottom.
Hitting rock bottom.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go. Speaking of, well, according to Eric, speaking of rock bottom, SpongeBob's episodes. Shawn, go ahead.
5.5. Some of them were good. Some of them were funny, but I can't watch it. It gets way too annoying, way too quick. It's like the voices, and like it's trippy. It's like if I can't watch it sober.
I kind of know that feeling. Eric, go ahead.
0.
All right.
I've already said
somebody
why.
for somebody that was a huge fan of Nickelodeon, like this is Nickelodeon's first foray into this cartoon classic, and you are just disrespecting the crap out of it.
Hey, I'm just being honest.
Yeah. Nickelodeon's going to threaten us with a suit.
Oh boy.
But all right. So my score for this, I'm not really a fan of this show, and I do feel like the show kind of like and some of the episodes, like I watched the pilot episode last night, and it's just like, when he gets a job at Krusty Krab, I thought that was a good episode.
Yeah, it was
And
a
then
good pilot.
Then when he met Sandy, because that was part of the same episode, because it was usually like two mini episode or two mini segments in the episode, or two like 11-minute segments or whatever. So I thought that was a good pilot. After that, it's just like, So I think for the pilot alone, I'm going to give it a 5. After that, it just does nothing for me.
Yeah, it doesn't keep what is there, like 1 or 2 episodes that maybe follow what they did previously.
Yeah.
But every episode was different, and it just kind of throws you off after a while.
Yeah. Pretty much. All right. Now we're on X-Men the Animated Series. And Shawn, go ahead.
I gave that a 8.5. Good episodes.
Yeah.
I don't really need to explain it. I mean, X-Men is X-Men.
Yeah. All right. Eric?
I'll give it an 8. Solid story, solid action. Is what you want from an action cartoon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I watched the whole story arc. There was the Phoenix, which was they had to go on to the one spaceship. Dr. Xavier was getting these visions or something like that, but he couldn't really tell anybody what was going on. So the team had to go on a spaceship to try to revive like some crystal or something like that. And then Jean Grey got turned into the Phoenix. And it was just like this arc of, they were trying to help this one girl who was trying to, or Professor Xavier, Mark, you know what I meant?
Hey, that's what I have. I have him as a child.
Yeah. So like but Professor Xavier, because him and Cyclops got into it at one point, and then they, because he's just like, you should have told us what was going on, and he's like, I don't have to tell you anything. Like, and I wanted to be like, oh, you kind of do there, Baldy.
Right.
But like, it was just this, I don't have to respect what I have, Mark. But
that is true. No, you do not.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was such like a really well told story. And then like Jean sacrificed herself, and then you had the next episode, which continued on. See, they were so good at really continuing the storyline to where like a lot of these other shows were just like, you know, something happened, but they really rarely ever referenced it.
Mm-hmm.
But X-Men continued the story.
Yep.
So for that, I'm giving them a 10. All right, Winnie the Pooh, the episodes. Shawn, go ahead.
I gave it a 5. It was just, they were good, but they were just simple. Some of them were weird too.
Yeah.
Like I just wasn't. I don't know, man. I just didn't like them. Didn't like them.
It's fair enough.
Respect the bald head.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Eric?
just saw that.
I give it a 5 too. It just wasn't. I guess maybe back in the day when I was little, it would have been better.
Exactly.
But right now, as an adult, I give it a 5.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my cup of tea.
So for me, like I always go back and I remember the Christmas special that they did, which I thought was always a fantastic Christmas special. And some of the episodes that I've watched before, because you know I've watched a lot of them like kind of recently, but not really. And then like some of the episodes I watched today, like they did seem kind of hokey, but it's just like the characters somehow were able to get over, you know, using a wrestling term, get over what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that alone, I'm giving it an 8 because, I mean, yes, like, I mean, because this really is a cartoon meant for little kids.
Yeah.
Right. What also drew me apart is how slow Winnie talks.
Yeah.
And how tired it sounds. Like it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Oh, bother.
Oh, Piglet.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you talking to like that? Oh.
Yeah, I can
Like,
understand
is
that.
he depressed 24/7?
No, that would be Eeyore.
Yeah. I feel like they're all just all like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Houston's gonna win this football game. It's 32-12.
Oh, R.I.P.
Can the other Harbaugh brother win? Can you imagine they lose?
I'm hoping they lose.
Well, here's what's going to be what's funny now. If Pittsburgh wins, Houston, it's Houston and Kansas City next week, which I'm pretty sure Kansas City's going to win that.
No, Kansas City will play Pittsburgh.
Kansas City will play Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Kansas City plays Pittsburgh, which Kansas City should win that. And then we play Houston, and it's going to be a different environment for Houston. And by the way, it's going to be cold.
Yep.
That's why I'm hoping.
We have to survive Denver tomorrow, but
either way, Houston's going to go to a cold weather city.
Yeah, which I don't think they're going to be able to. I don't see them surviving past the next round.
Yeah.
But they got their act together here, that's for sure.
Yeah, they did.
Did they, or are they just getting the lucky hand of God?
Actually, the Chargers just don't have an offense. They don't have enough. They don't have enough weapons.
Disrespect Lad McConkey. He did very well for my brother's fantasy team this year.
Fantasy isn't real life, Doug.
It is in fantasy football.
Or the bedroom.
Well, only one of the three of us on this call right now, and the one in the chat room is, you guys are married. Eric and I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, it doesn't much. It doesn't really change.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So I keep forgetting that I say this is a family show.
Yeah, you can edit that part out.
Yeah. All right. So we are in the last category of it's going to be close, I think, between Flintstones and although the other two, well, probably not SpongeBob. I mean, it might help the fact that we had a fourth judge in the chat room, but Flintstones and X-Men, I think it's pretty neck and neck right now.
You basically had 3 judges for SpongeBob.
Well, yeah, because you basically threw in the towel and we're just like, I'm giving zeros.
It's funny because it was made for Shawn, and Shawn's the one who's not giving zeros.
Yeah, that's why I said I would shock you.
Yeah, and you did.
I took advantage of it.
Yeah, I know you did. So all right, so humor and entertainment value. We'll start with the Flintstones, and Shawn, we're starting with you again.
8. A lot of good episodes. Pretty good funny moments every once in a while. Solid 8.
All right.
Oh, you got the 50 pick, or is that the 75? Probably
120.
Jesus, I have a pen. This is my one pen.
Yeah. 120, but most of them are, but like 20 of them are already ran out of ink. I've had this for a while. All right, Mark, if you want to go ahead in the chat room and put in your scores for humor and entertainment value, be much appreciated. Eric, humor and entertainment value with the Flintstones.
I give it a 10.
Okay.
This is the second show I gave all 10s.
Oh yeah. All right, so we are. All right, so Mark's scores are 7.5 for Flintstones. SpongeBob's humor and entertainment value gets a 4. X-Men gets a 9. Winnie gets a 7. All right, so for me, Flintstones, I'm going to give it a 10 because every episode that I've watched, again, even though I said some of the episodes can be repetitive, but I always found myself laughing at least something in these episodes. So, that's why I give it a 10. All right, we're going to SpongeBob. Shawn?
Humor and entertainment, correct?
Yes.
7.5. It was almost like watching Napoleon Dynamite where you can't hate it because it's so dumb to watch. It's funny.
Yeah.
So, but there are moments too, like it's funny. I can't get over the fact that Mr. Krabs has a whale as a daughter.
I know, that's
the biggest curveball in the world.
Yeah.
And like how it's funny, everything bad.
It's never explained either, is it?
It's never explained. I don't remember if it is, but from my knowledge, it has never been explained. Which is hilarious.
Yeah. All right, Eric.
I'll give it a 1.
How generous?
From 0 to 1.
0.5.
So I'm giving it because I agree with Shawn, so I'm giving it a 6. So like I mostly agree with Shawn, but I went like a 1.5 lower. But it's so dumb that it does make it funny sometimes. But yeah, I mean, no, I'm not a big fan of the show, but yeah, I mean, it makes me laugh a little bit. So, all right, X-Men, the animated series, humor and entertainment value. Shawn, go ahead.
I gave it a 10 just for entertainment. Like, they would throw those little humor jokes in there, but it was just so action-packed, so much like going on in one scene. When they're like in battles, it's all over the place. It's really very well done.
Yeah.
So 10 out of 10.
Eric?
I give it.
X-Men. Did you almost say for Ninja Turtles?
No. Give it a 8.
Okay. All right. So I'm giving it I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a 9. I mean, it's not, there's no like real, I mean, there's some humor to it, like X-Men or like Wolverine is very funny.
Yeah.
Like he's got that sarcastic sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's just like, but it's entertaining as the fact is that like the battles and like all the action and it it's, you are entertained and you are into the show.
Exactly.
Right. You're never drawn away from it.
So, yeah, so I'm giving it a 9.
And Shawn gave it a 10?
I gave it a 10, yeah.
Shawn gave it a 10, yeah. Mark gave it a 9. All right, Winnie the Pooh, humor and entertainment value, Shawn.
6. Just, I don't know, man. I didn't like it. It was not funny, but some of the episodes were still pretty good to watch, I guess. I guess they had good stories in some episodes, but not in every episode.
I think Shawn makes good.
But I didn't see me getting excited to watch it.
Right.
As I would X-Men or God I Say even SpongeBob.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wasn't like, oh, it's 3:00. I gotta catch that Winnie the Pooh episode.
Right. Eric?
As in,
Give it a 5.
It's 8 a.m. X-Men's on. Give me my waffles. I'm watching X-Men.
Right. I didn't really find myself laughing at it. It was fine. It was entertaining at times.
Some of the stuff I feel like that they got into was kind of funny. Like I do find Tigger funny. I find Pooh kind of funny. I find Rabbit's, narcissism kind of funny. And like how like self-involved he is almost. So I'm gonna give it an 8. So all right, so we got all the scores written here. I'll let you guys kind of talk amongst yourselves while I do the math.
So do we all think Baltimore's going to win?
Are they playing tonight or no?
Yeah.
It
comes on in like 2 minutes.
Yep.
Oh, snap. I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to hurry the show up because I can just turn that on at any time. It's not like Saturday night's main event where it's like, all right, we got to get off this effing show. I got to go watch my wrestling.
Right. Let me go get the lotion.
Hey.
It's on Amazon Prime, so if you don't have Amazon Prime, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I do. I think. I don't know.
There's so many game streaming services out there.
Right.
All right.
I think they made a mistake putting a playoff game on Amazon Prime, but it's just me.
Better than being on Netflix.
But I think more people have Netflix than Amazon Prime, right? You would think.
I think so, yeah.
You would think, but they lost a lot of viewers because I think Netflix changed it to where you can't share one account now.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I think each account has like 2 limits, and then you have to upgrade if you want to go to 3. At least that's from my count.
Possibly. I do not remember.
But T-Mobile was paying for mine because T-Mobile had a free lifetime or whatever it was.
All right, so because we had a fourth judge on here today, it does definitely help the points. Flintstones already has a score of 176.
Wow.
So even if they don't win, they're getting a wild card spot.
They blew Ninja Turtles out of the water.
Well, don't forget, I mean, there was 4 of us judging.
Oh yeah.
Paying the math budget. But all right, so now let's move on to the next one. I don't see SpongeBob getting a wild card spot. Eric made sure that wasn't going to happen.
I had to keep it right. Like I was going to give a couple zeros out there, but I'm like, no, got to keep it interesting.
You figured I would do that.
Yeah, I figured you. It's shocked you even gave him any points.
I'm surprised I gave one category 5.
It was very nice of you.
Yeah, it was. I'm surprised at myself. So what are you guys doing tomorrow? No, I'm just joking.
Hopefully watching the Bills win a game.
Yep. Hopefully I'll be watching the Eagles win a game.
No one cares about the Eagles.
Hey.
Straight zero, Aaron. Straight zero.
I do root for the Bills, so
that's fair enough then.
I've adopted them as my second team.
So all right, so I can say that SpongeBob will not be getting a wild card spot. They only clocked in at 101.5.
Wow.
Huh. So, and by the way, with the Flintstones having 176, I mean, provided they don't win, because I haven't done X-Men score yet, I'm getting ready to. They may have knocked Donkey Kong Country out.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
But I'll be able to tell you that in a second.
Let's go.
Let me see. What's the forecast in Buffalo, Shawn?
Well, it snowed out in Newfane today. Probably like 2 inches.
No, not enough to
for tomorrow.
Yeah, not enough to get the Bills fans to shovel the snow at
No, it's supposed to be. Hold on. Where do they play? Well, I'm looking it up right now. Sorry. Tomorrow it's supposed to be like in the 30s with mild winds, maybe some snow flurries, but nothing not like where they're going to have to shovel. But then again, it is Buffalo. You never know. Negative 80. Negative 80. Yeah. I'm thinking you're almost not aliving
But
yourself
that
there.
won't bother Denver because Denver is used to that kind of weather themselves.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
even
but
worse.
it's also they're used to that cold weather and a higher elevation.
Yeah. I was gonna say that they're
So actually,
probably
I
getting
think
worse
we
weather.
would be at the disadvantage if we were playing in Denver because of the elevation
Yep.
in the cold.
Yeah. So for Denver, this is nothing. This is nothing to Denver. It's just another day at the office for Denver themselves.
Yeah.
I guess you guys are happy the Bengals didn't make the playoffs.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard Travis Kelce mouthing off on his podcast because Jason basically brought up how a lot of Bengals fans are pissed off or because they feel like the Chiefs purposely didn't want the Bengals in the playoffs.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Travis is just like
But
anybody
like,
can do it.
how can you like go against it?
Yeah.
Like, what's there to investigate? Any team can do that. It's not cheating.
Yeah.
It's being smart. Like, oh, I might have. You guys are actually kind of good. I don't want to play you, so we're not going to play you.
Yep.
So all right, so there has been a little bit of a shakeup here.
Uh-oh.
So SpongeBob doesn't matter. 101.5. They don't get a wild card spot. They're out. I mean, pretty much, Mark. Yeah. So, all right, they don't get a wild card spot. Winnie the Pooh, however, does. He clocked in at 136.
Nice.
So, both. All right. So right now, what that does, because I haven't read off the other two yet, that knocks Donkey Kong Country out. They're done. Like they're not moving on. They don't get a wild card spot.
They no longer exist.
So the bear took out the monkey. Which technically in a wildlife fight probably should happen.
Yes.
Although, like, I don't know, can a monkey take a bear in a fight? Or like a gorilla?
Maybe.
I mean, a gorilla might. Not like a small like chimpanzee, but
Oh, a gorilla? Probably.
Yeah.
Gorilla would probably win.
so well this time he didn't. The bear won.
Oof.
So
The honey
Donkey
bear.
Kong is out. Now clocking in at 176. So this is gonna knock Street Fighter out.
Oh, damn.
Dang.
X-Men, right?
So Mark just said depends on the ape and on the bear. So I mean I would probably take Donkey Kong in a fight over Winnie the Pooh, but
That's fair.
but all right, so the Flintstones clocked in at 176. So again, that knocks Street Fighter out. That means at 182, X-Men the Animated Series wins.
Oh, wow.
So not only that, they are in line. Pokemon, and I'm sorry to say it, Eric, even though I might be smiling right now, Pokemon is no longer eligible for the first round bye.
Okay.
They still move on, obviously, because they won.
Yeah.
But the first round bye right now, the buys go to X-Men the Animated Series and Ninja Turtles. Now, obviously, It could change depending on in the coming weeks how many people we have on, how many people are scoring. Mark McGee is very happy, so that's all that really matters. But all right, So what that means now, as far as the wild cards, Super Mario Brothers still has a wild card. They're kind of just hanging on. They're at 133 points. They have a wild card. At 136, Winnie the Pooh has a wild card. Has a wild card spot. At 148, The Simpsons has a wild card spot, and at 176, The Flintstones has a wild card spot. So those are your 4 wild card teams right now.
Yep. It could all change next week, especially because of the league I'm choosing.
Yeah, so it definitely could change. Now, Shawn, are you able to? Well, one, you're probably waiting until he decides what league he's doing. But are you able to do a show next Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Regardless of who it is, I'll do it. I don't care.
Cool.
I love being on these things.
Yeah, because I have really.
Are you announcing them tonight?
Yeah, he's gonna announce it right now.
Okay. I'm gonna. Oh, okay, good, because I'm writing them down.
Yeah. All right, Eric. What league are we doing?
Dog league.
The dog?
Yep.
Dog league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, do you want to announce what shows are on there, or do you want me to do it?
I'll do it. I have it right here on my phone.
Okay. And I actually had a feeling that you were going to pick this one.
See, we know each other too well.
Yeah. Scary. All right, go ahead, Eric. You have the floor.
Scooby Doo. Dog.
Scooby Doo, where are you?
Yeah. Scooby Doo, where are you?
Yeah.
And then Dog. And then Ren and Stimpy. And Cat Dog.
All right. So Scooby Doo, so it's the dog league. So any cartoon that has a dog in it, and the 4 cartoons in this league are Scooby Doo, where are you? Ren and Stimpy. Doug and Cat Dog.
Yep. It was between that and Family, obviously, but I decided Dog this week. Or next week.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down, and then we still have, because you still have your the superheroes and the Family League, right, Eric?
Yeah, I'm saving the super for last.
Okay.
I'll say that now.
Yeah. Because I still have the Cat League, the Group League, and the Kid League.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna save the superhero one for last.
Yeah, so those are the 4 next week. I think I already know, especially if we get other people on the show other than Shawn, or in the chat. If other people decide to come on and help us judge, I think I already know where people are going to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But but it's also
obvious.
But here's the funny thing about this league and about this show: the points really matter. Unlike Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the points don't matter.
I was just going to say, what does that remind me of? And thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah. So the points really matter in this. And having that fourth judge.
It's going to knock out a lot of cartoons that had only 3.
Had what?
No, with the 4th judge, it knocks out some of the popular ones.
Yeah. Yeah, but we also still have some of the popular ones that haven't been talked about yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, the fact nobody's really gonna be I'm not gonna get hate mail for the fact that Donkey Kong and Street Fighter are no longer in contention for a wild card spot.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm going to get more hatred the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog got knocked out. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. And like I said, depending on how many, if we get other people to join us in the chat room next week and judge, Mark, see you've already left, but we appreciate you helping out with the judging and giving us some scores, because that really did. I mean, that really did help. I mean, because it really did help elevate. I mean, it definitely helped elevate Winnie the Pooh. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it did.
Because without the points that Mark gave, I don't think Winnie the Pooh would be eligible for a wild card spot right now. And who knows? Flintstones might have won.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
because he did have some scores that brought it down.
Yeah, and plus he's always been a big X-Men fan.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so X-Men moves on. They have a first round bye right now. Again, that could change depending on how many judges we have moving forward. Because who knows how many people are going to come on here next week or be in the chat room or whatever and give Scooby-Doo like 10s across the board. But I'll tell you this right now, because again, this episode tonight I've been looking forward to all week, because I really felt like it was going to be a battle, and it turned out to be kind of a battle between Flintstones and X-Men. But I feel like Winnie the Pooh held its own enough to get a wild card spot.
Yeah.
But I would not underestimate Doug against Scooby-Doo, because
Now you can't be biased because you share the same name. That would be cheating.
you know what? When I grew up, I hated that show.
I don't think I ever watched it, honestly.
I'm going to be the one who's biased because I like Doug.
Yeah. So we know who he's going to be. You know, he's going to be given 10s across the board.
Two shows this week.
Now, I'm going to ask you this, and again, I hate giving you authority, but I'm going to ask you, are you counting both the Nickelodeon version and the Disney version? Because technically it's the Disney version is the continuation of Nickelodeon, except for he goes to middle school.
Yeah.
So we're counting both. So
yeah, the whole series. Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Because
it's basically the same characters and all that. So
yeah, the only change is that in the Disney version, Mr. Dink is the mayor.
Yep.
So, and I'll be interested to see how people treat Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I wasn't a big fan of it.
That's a classic too.
Yeah. I never really liked it either. And I'll tell you another one that could be a sleeper here. And again, it's going to depend on the points. It's going to be Cat Dog. Like, we don't know.
I'm shocked you didn't pick, what was his? Courage. Courage, Coward.
It wasn't my league to pick. It was one of the leagues I let him pick.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, because if you wanted me to give zeros across the board.
Cat Dog was last minute thing because I accidentally did Garfield.
He's a cat.
Yeah. and I had announced him for the Cat League.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. But that's going to be but we'll get into like the later like leagues later on. But all right, this was great. Shawn, again, we appreciate you for coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
Yep. And we will see you again. We'll see you again next week. As
Go
you
Bills,
are now.
Go Eagles.
Go Bills.
Enjoy the game tomorrow, guys.
You too. As
You
Shawn
too.
is now part of our little podcast family.
Yep.
Eric, I gotta
go
show
watch it
Eric.
too.
I gotta show Eric something before you go, though.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you see these pieces of paper?
Yeah.
On it is everything I think is wrong about the Sabres and
Okay.
positive about the Sabres. I just started this one after what I watched today, where they're like, we're going to play like a championship team for one period. oh, they scored on us. Time to go back to juniors. So
That's how I feel
I'm
about
ready.
the sisters.
But did you watch any of the Bandits game? Bandits won again against Toronto. Super happy. One of our players got knocked out with one hit. It's kind of funny to watch. But that's it. That's all I want to say. I'm ready.
All right. So we'll see everybody next week. Of course, I'm Dutchy for Money E for Shawn. We'll see everybody next Saturday night. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment for all of our YouTube channels. Make sure you check out Shawn at Elite Doc.
Yep.
All right. Can't really not plug his stuff because, like I said, he's part of the family now. So
it's about time it only took 30 years, Doug.
Yeah.
And
I
Shawn
know.
will probably be joining him on probably Thursday. I think.
Yeah, just let me know a time so I can let you know. If it's later at night, we're good.
Yep, probably like 7 or 8.
7 or 8. Okay, yeah, I should be good then. I'm normally home by 5. But great show, guys.
All right, beautiful guys. We'll see you. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Later, guys.
Yep. Have a good night. Thank you.
Later.